Hi guys, Friday 23rd of August. Start of a busy Friday for me today. Starting the selection, a proper selection, kind of proper selection of the babies which were hatching just 6 weeks or so ago from the third spawning. It's been an interesting learning experience for that spawning, it really has. First of all, we had far more eggs than I'd ever anticipated, far more babies than I'd anticipated. Various times we've split those down. You'll remember perhaps that originally some went into the net in the tank behind me, while the rest stayed outside in the paddling pool. The ones that stayed in the paddling pool did a far lot better than the ones inside. Then a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, the net was disbanded in here and everything was outside. The ones outside were growing really quickly, and then they seemed to hit a bottleneck. And I think that was down to two things. First of all, the water quality in terms of the water parameters, ammonia and nitrite in the paddling pool outside are absolutely perfect. They've been running absolutely superbly for several weeks since those fry hatched. In the early part we had a little bit of nitrite that we battled through. But what was obvious was there was a smell from the water which was basically just the food that was not being eaten and was just sitting on the bottom. And I got to a point where my food supplies were delayed coming in, so I sort of rationed the food a little bit for 4 or 5 days, and we started to lose a lot of fish. First of all, I was thinking it was because of the water, and whilst the water quality, the water parameters showed fine, I say there was this smell to it. So I got around that. Unfortunately, the downside of the paddling pool is and the hardest thing about keeping fry is it's very difficult to deal with the waste, the solid waste, whether that's the food or whether that's the fish waste themselves. And I've now taken to just running a fine aquarium net around the pond every few days to take that waste out. Anyway, so as I say, I was at a point where I started to really ration the food just to try and manage that a little bit, and we started to lose a lot of fish. And basically I think they were, on hindsight, dying because of starvation. They were the weaker ones that weren't getting the food, and that was why they were dying. When the new food stocks come in and I've started this regime of scraping the waste off the bottom of the pool, I really upped the feeding. In the last week or so, the fish in the paddling pool have had about probably 600-700 grams now of fry food, and in that week, since last weekend, since last week, they've really shot on in size incredibly, and at the same time they've developed their shine and their pigmentation starting to show through as well. So I'm really happy that this 6-week day that I'd always set as being when I wanted to do the first selection, we got them at a point where I know I need to reduce the numbers. But it's at a point where I can do a meaningful selection, and I'll talk about it a little bit more when we go outside in the paddling pool, because the fry are already in a net. We've already netted that pond, and my faithful assistant, my mother, lending a hand as always to help out here. But I just want to talk to you quickly a little bit about the tank behind the fry from the first spawning, and these are really doing well in terms of growth and development. There's still a few deformities, there's still a few problems, but a lot of people are saying to me, what's happening, and wanting to know when new videos are coming. And it's simply, there's nothing really to show you a lot of the time. In the early stages there was lots going on, and it's just not so much happening at the moment. But if you check out Facebook, I generally try and put something about the main fry on there every day or two, and show you a few examples. And I'll just show you them now, and show them feeding. They're growing extremely well, as I say, and probably next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm planning to do a selection of these as well. I think I can probably get this down to 100 that are fish that are really interesting for me to keep through the winter period, and the rest will probably be offloaded, not dumped, offloaded. So if people are interested, then maybe we can sort something out with sharing some of those around to people. But as I say, I'll show you a quick look at those now. So these are graduated to 3mm pellets now, 3mm pellets. From ZN Systems, but I crushed them up a little bit because of some of the smaller ones. perhaps can't manage a pellet very easily, and today for some reason they're being shy. As they say, never work with children and animals. Unfortunately, you can't see very much of them over there. So outside this net, we've managed to scoop this through the pond, or through the paddling pool, and pick up some of the fry, hopefully a good number of the fry, which we're going to sort through. Basic criteria today, I'm planning to remove the white ones primarily. There's not a huge number, I would think probably 20% maximum white ones in here, but they're going to go, and then we're going to work through the numbers, and as I do that through the course of the morning, I'll talk to you more about what I'm looking at. It's obviously not obviously apparent on the video, but there is pigmentation and luster that you can see on the fry, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that to you a bit later on in the video. But I'm going to get started, and I'll speak to you in a little while. So kind of getting to the end of the first selection, or part of the selection that I'm doing. As you can see, the net has reduced numbers of fry in it, just these last few to go through. I say this first selection process, quite simply a case of getting the yellow ones and the coloured ones, the darker coloured ones, separated out, with the objective that we're going to keep the darker coloured ones, but I'm going to do a selection through those as well probably. And some of the lighter coloured ones, as long as they have pattern on them. So this is a typical random scoop that I get. You can see the majority are darker coloured. I'm guessing probably 20% maybe are whiter. I haven't kept any particular count, but 20 at the most, 30%, probably nothing like 30%. Probably at the most 20%, to be honest, are white ones in the round net here. So this contains the dark ones and just a couple of white ones or light ones, which I've noticed as I've gone through, which had definite patterns on them. I've got to be honest, at this stage I've not taken any particular real notice of the other ones that I've passed by. It's just been a case of selecting out the white ones. So looking forward to going through these again in more detail in a little while, and hopefully be able to show you some of the ones with particular nice colour or pattern developing, or the metallic luster developing on them. In here, as you can see, it's all yellow, and so depending on where we get with numbers when I do the selection through the darker ones, some of these larger white ones, yellow ones, whatever you want to call them, may be kept, as long as say they have a sign of some shine, some luster to them, and as long as they're the larger size ones as well, and have a pattern. Sorry, I missed that bit. I have a pattern as well. So that's where I'm at the moment, to carry on through and get this first bit completed. Okay, well that exercise is complete. I've got 3 bowls now. 1 bowl of yellow fry, which I showed you earlier, and 2 bowls of primarily the dark colour fry, which I'm now going to sort through, select out what ones I want to keep. So I'm looking for pattern, luster, and size to a certain extent as well. Once I know how many of those I put back into the paddling pool, that'll give me an idea of where I want to go with the white ones, in terms of keeping those as well. So this scoop of the darker ones, unsorted at this stage. So I'm going to go through these now. And once I've done that, give me a better idea of where I'm at with numbers, and we'll take a look at a few of these in more close up later on in the video. Okay, well, selection's completed. I probably got a bit softer than I perhaps first intended to be. It's getting really, really hot today. And the fish around the little bowls, I decided it was better off putting them back, and just, I'm happy that I've reduced the number significantly by taking out the majority of the yellow ones, which was the main objective today. And I'm happy that we got a huge proportion of the fish out of the paddling pool as well. So all in all, that's good. I'm really happy with how they look. I've got a small selection in the bowl here in front of me, which I'll show you, give you an idea of what they look like at this point in time. With how they came on over the last 7 days, I'm thinking that probably in a week, 10 days time, we'll get another selection done, and then we can get the numbers down, as long as they keep progressing the way they have over the last 7 days. So here they are. If you saw the video clip I posted on Facebook a couple of days ago, pretty much what you saw then, really, to be honest. There's one little white one there, not sure why that's in there. One to go. But this is what we're looking at this stage. Patterns just starting to develop. Shine starting to develop on them as well. So I'm hoping that, say, in 7 to 10 days time, we'll be in a position to do a much more informative or informed selection process through them. But I'm happy with how they look at the moment. I'm pleased that I can't see a huge amount of evidence of deformity among them either. So obviously that was a concern with previous sportings. But these look pretty sound at the moment, as far as what I can see. So, all's good. In terms of number, to be honest, I haven't got a clue.